Hello, Vanek.
Hello, Mr. Stanek.
My dear old friend, come on. Come. Do please take your coat off. I forgot to mention the magnolias. They're superb, aren't they? I'm going to find you a couple of good plants, and I'm going to come round myself and put them in for you personally. I was afraid you weren't going to come.
Why?
Oh, I don't know. Things got a bit mixed up in an odd sort of way, didn't they? Here we are. Thank you. Well, here's to our reunion. That's better, isn't it? Peanuts? No. Do you know you haven't changed in all these years?
Not of you.
Me? Oh, come on. Getting on for 50, grey-haired, aches and pains setting in. Not like we used to be, huh? And the times we live in don't make one feel any better, do they? When did we see each other last, actually?
Well, I don't know.
Wasn't it at your last opening night?
Could have been.
Oh, it seems like another age. We had a bit of an argument.
Did we?
Yes. You went on at me about my ideals and for being over-optimistic. Oh, how often since then have I had to admit that you were right. But in those days, I still believed that some of the ideals of my youth could be salvaged, in spite of everything. And I took you for a dreadful old pessimist.
Oh, I'm not a pessimist.
You see, everything's reversed. Are you alone?
What do you mean, alone?
Well, isn't there somebody, you know...
Oh, you mean following me?
Not that I care. After all, it was I who rang you up, wasn't it?
Well, I haven't noticed anybody.
By the way, if you want to shake them off, do you know the best place to do it?
No.
A department store. You mingle with the crowd, and then when you're quite sure that nobody's looking, you sneak off into the toilet and you stay there for about 2 hours. And they become convinced you managed to slip out through a side entrance. Give up. You should try it sometime.
Seems very peaceful here.
Oh, well, that's why we moved. It was impossible to go on writing near that railway station. Yes, we've been here for 3 years, you know. Of course, my greatest joy is the garden. I'll show you around a bit later on. I'm afraid I'm going to boast a little.
Do you do the gardening yourself?
Oh, it's become my greatest passion. You'll find me pottering about out there almost every day. I've just been rejuvenating the apricots. I've developed my own method, which is based on a special mixture of natural and artificial fertilizers with a special way of waxless grafting. Well, you won't believe the results I get. I'll find you some cuttings later on. Cigarette?
No, thank you.
Well, so, tell me, Ferdinand, how are you?
All right.
Thank you. Do they leave you alone, at least some of the time?
Well, it depends.
How was it in there?
Where?
Can people like us survive that sort of thing?
Oh, you mean prison? Well, what else can one do?
Well, if I remember, you used to suffer from piles. Oh, that must have been terrible, considering the conditions in there.
Well, they gave me suppositories.
Well, you ought to have them operated on, you know. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine is our finest hemorrhoid specialist. Works wonders. I'll arrange it for you.
Thank you.
Ah, you know, Ferdinand, sometimes it all seems like a beautiful dream, doesn't it? The opening nights, private views, lectures, meetings, the endless discussions about literature and art, crowded wine bars, the heavy drinking, the wandering back through the deserted streets in the small hours, the girls. And in spite of it all, the mountains of work we still manage to get done. Oh, well, that's all over now. That'll never come. Oh, my God, you haven't taken your shoes off, have you?
Well,
You didn't need to do that. Did they beat you?
No.
Do they beat people up in there?
Sometimes, but not the politicals.
I thought about you a great deal, you know.
Thank you.
I bet in those days it never even occurred to us, did it? How it would all end up. I bet even you didn't guess that. Oh, it's disgusting, my friend, disgusting. This country's governed by pigs. The people. Can this really be the same nation that behaved so magnificently? And not so very long ago. All this horrible cringing and bowing and scraping. Corruption. Fear wherever you turn. What have they done to us? Can this really be us?
Oh, I don't think things are as black as all that.
Oh, forgive me, Ferdinand, but you don't happen to live in what is called a normal environment. You're among people who manage to fight back, who support and encourage each other. You've no idea the sort of environment I have to put up with. Makes me vomit.
What do you mean in television?
Television, films, you name it.
Oh, there was a piece by you on television the other day.
Yes, well, you can't imagine what a nightmare that was. First, they kept blocking it for over a year. Then they started altering it. Altered my whole opening, the whole closing sequence. Oh, you wouldn't believe the pathetic little things they object to these days. And what do we end up with? Intrigues and sterility. Oh, I keep telling myself, give it all up, forget it. Go away somewhere and hide. Grow apricots.
Yes, I know what you mean.
The thing is, though, one can't help wondering if one has the right to escape. Supposing the little one is able to accomplish today can somehow help someone in some way. Perhaps give him a bit of encouragement, uplift him a little. Look, let me get you some slippers.
Slippers? Why?
Well, you can't be very comfortable like that.
Oh, I'm all right.
You sure?
Yes. Really?
How about drugs? Did they give you any?
No.
No funny injections?
Well, only vitamin ones.
I bet they tampered with the food.
Only bromide against sex.
But they must have tried to break you somehow.
Well...
Look, if you'd rather not talk about it, that's all right with me.
Well, isn't that the whole point of pre-trial interrogations?
To make you talk. You know, if they haul me in for questioning, which sooner or later they're bound to do it, you know what I'm going to do?
What?
Simply refuse to speak to them. Simply not answer any of their questions. Oh, that's the best way. At least one can be sure that one hasn't said anything one ought not to have said. Anyway, you must have nerves of steel to be able to stand it all. And in addition, keep on doing the things you do.
Like what?
Well, I mean, all the protests, the petitions, the letters, the whole fight for human rights, the things that you and your friends keep on doing.
Oh, I don't do that much.
Oh, now come on, Ferdinand. Don't be so modest. I follow everything that's going on, I know. If everybody did what you do, the situation here would be quite different. Now, it's most important that there should be a few people here who aren't afraid to defend others. Speak the truth out loud. Look, what I'm going to say may sound a little solemn, perhaps, but it seems to me that you and your friends have undertaken an almost superhuman task. To preserve what's left of moral conscience. Carry it through the present quagmire. Now, your contribution may seem modest, but who knows? Perhaps the whole moral rebirth of the nation hangs on it.
Well, I think you're exaggerating.
Well, that's the way I see it.
Surely, our hope for the future depends on all the decent people.
Well, how many of those are still around?
Enough?
Are there? Well, even so, it's you and your friends who are the most exposed.
Well, isn't that precisely what makes it easier for us?
Well, I wouldn't have said so. The more exposed you are, the more responsibility you have to those people who know about you, trust you, rely on you, look up to you. Because in some ways, you're upholding their honor too. Look, I'll get you those slippers.
Oh, please don't bother.
I insist. Makes me cold just looking at you. Allow me. Here we are.
Thank you.
Thank me? Oh, my dear friend, whatever for?
Oh, no more for me, thank you.
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry, I'm not feeling too well.
Lost the habit when you were inside, is that it?
Could be, but the thing is, you see, last night...
Oh, I see, that's it. Had to drop too many, I understand. Oh, by the way, do you know the new wine bar in, by the old town square?
No?
Oh, don't you? Oh, it's quite inexpensive, and it's usually not crowded. Oh, it's a lovely little place. And some fairly good artists have actually been allowed to decorate the walls, if you can believe it. You should try it. Where did you go?
Oh, well, I just went out with Landowski's, a friend of mine.
In that case, I'm not surprised you came to grief. I mean, he's a first-rate actor, but once he starts drinking, that's it. You sure you went? Oh. So, how are things otherwise, Ferdinand? You doing any writing?
Trying to.
Play?
One actor.
Another autobiographical one?
More or less.
Oh, my wife and I read the one about the brewery the other day. We thought that was most amusing.
Oh, I'm glad.
Yes, unfortunately, we were given rather a bad copy. It was a bit illegible.
I'm sorry.
But it's a really brilliant little piece. No, I mean it. Perhaps the ending's a bit muddy. Needs to be brought to a sharper conclusion. But that's all. No problem. You can do it. So, how are things? How's Pavel? Is he doing any writing?
Yes, he's just finishing a one-acter. It's supposed to be going on with my play.
Oh, my God. I just don't get it. I just don't get this association. Are you being honest with yourself? Really honest? Pavel? Oh, well, you remember how he started. Our careers have been parallel in a way. But I don't mind telling you that some of the stuff he wrote in those days was a bit much even for me. Still, it's up to you. You know what you're doing.
Yes.
Is your wife fond of gladioli?
I don't know. I think so.
Well, you won't find many gardens with as fine a selection as mine. I've got 32 different shades. At the nursery, you'll be lucky if you find 6. Now, do you think that your wife would like me to send her some bulbs?
Well, I'm sure she would.
Tell her it's all right for them to go in now. Ferdinand?
Yes.
Were you surprised when I suddenly rang you up?
A bit.
Yes, I thought so. After all, I'm one of the few people who've managed to keep their heads above water. And I should quite understand that because of that you might like to keep your distance.
No, not me.
No. Perhaps not you yourself, but some of your friends. I'm sure feel that anybody who has any sort of a future has either sold out or is kidding himself.
I don't think that's so.
And I wouldn't blame you if you did. I know quite well how these prejudices grow. Ferdinand, I know the high price that you've had to pay for what you believe, but please don't think it's all that easy for someone like me. I want to live at peace with my conscience, just like you. In some respects, it may even be harder for me. And look, I didn't ask you around here in order to justify myself. I don't think there's any need for that. I did it because I like you. And because I would be sorry to see you share the prejudices of your friends.
Well, as far as I know, nobody's ever said a bad word about you.
Not even Havel.
No.
Fred.
Yes?
Does the name Yavorek mean anything to you?
Sorry?
Does the name Yavorek mean anything to you?
Yes, I know him very well.
And you know what happened to him?
Yes, they locked him up for telling a story during one of those pop concerts of his. The one about the policeman who meets a penguin in the street.
Ridiculous. It's just an excuse, that's all. They hate his guts because he sings the way he does. It's also vicious, appalling.
And cowardly.
Right. And cowardly. Now, look. I've been trying to do something for the lad. I know one or two people at the town hall, the prosecutor's office. But you know what it's like. Promises, promises. They all say they're going to look into it, and the moment your back's turned, they drop it like a hot potato. It's appalling how selfish people are.
Still, it's very good of you to have tried to do something.
Oh, Ferdinand. I'm not the person your friends obviously take me for. Now, about... peanuts?
No, thank you.
About Yavorek. Now, since I haven't been able to achieve anything through intervening personally, I thought it might be done in a different way. To write something, perhaps. A protest or a petition, say. Now, that's what I most wanted to talk to you about. After all, you're much more experienced in these matters than I am. Now, if this document were to contain a few well-known signatures like yours, for example, it might be published abroad and exert some political pressure. Right. I realize that these protests don't seem to impress them all that much, but quite honestly, I don't see any other way to help the lad. Not to mention Annie.
Annie?
My daughter.
What about her?
Oh, I thought you knew.
Knew what?
She's expecting. By Yavorek.
Oh, I see. So that's how...
Now, wait a minute. If you mean that this case interests me just because my family's involved...
No, I didn't mean that.
But you just said...
No, I only meant that that was how you knew about it. You were telling me how you got to know about it. Quite frankly, I wouldn't have expected you to be in on the current pop scene. I'm sorry if it sounded as though I meant that.
Look, I'd have got involved with this case, even if it had been somebody else expecting his child. No matter who.
Yes, I know.
So, what did you think of my idea, then, writing some sort of protest?
Is this the sort of thing you had in mind?
That's remarkable. There was I racking my brains how to go about it. Finally, I pluck up courage and consult you. And all this time you had the whole thing ready. That's remarkable. Oh, I knew I was doing the right thing when I got in touch with you. Oh, there. Precisely what I had in mind. Brief, to the point, fair, but emphatic. Manifestly the work of a professional. Oh, I'd have been sweating over this for a whole day and never come up with anything remotely like this. Just a small point. Here at the end. Do you think sadism is right? Couldn't one find a milder word, perhaps? Seems a bit out of place. I mean, the whole text is so concise, so full of facts. So that this word suddenly jumps out. It seems a bit too emotional. Don't you think? But otherwise, it's absolutely perfect. And perhaps the second paragraph might be superfluous. Yes, in fact, it's just a rehash of the first. Except for this reference to Yaverek's influence on nonconformist youth. Oh, excellent. Well done. Now leave that. Oh, now what about putting it at the end instead of sadism? Wouldn't that do it? Oh, look, these are just my impressions. Good God, why should you listen to what I have to say? No, on the whole, this is excellent, and I'm sure it's going to do the trick. Just let me say again, Ferdinand, how very much I admire you. Your ability to express the fundamental points of an issue without resorting to abuse is pretty unusual around here. Oh, come on, you don't really mean that. It's a splendid piece of work. Thank you for letting me see it. Now, you better put it back in your briefcase. Well, it's good to know that there's always someone one can turn to in cases like this. That's understood. Pardon? Oh, sorry. But that's understood. Oh, by you, perhaps. But in the sorts of circles I move in, it isn't understood at all. In fact, the opposite is understood. When somebody gets into trouble, he's dropped as soon as possible. Everybody pretends they never had anything to do with him. Oh, we were on to him right away. Wouldn't have touched him with a barge pole, ever. Oh, but I don't need to tell you this, Ferdinand. When you were in prison, that's what your old theatre pal said about you on television. Made me vomit. Oh, I'm not angry with them. But I am. And I told them so in no uncertain terms. Look, a man in my position has to put up with a lot, but there are limits. Look, I realize it must be difficult for you to blame your friends, especially when you're the injured party. But you've got to be objective, Vanek. Once we put up with that sort of shit, we share responsibility for our whole moral collapse. Right? Well. Have you sent it off yet? We're still collecting signatures. Now, how many have you got so far? About 50. 50? Oh, not bad, not bad. Oh, well, I've just missed the boat, that's all. You haven't? Yes, but the whole thing's already underway, isn't it? Yes, but it's still open. Yes, but the whole thing's ready to be sent off and published, isn't it? Well, if I were you, I wouldn't send it to one of the agencies. They'll just print some measly little news item which nobody will notice. Better send it off directly to one of the big European papers. So the whole text will be published, including all the signatures. Yes, I know. Do they know about it? Do you mean the police? I don't know. I wouldn't have thought so. Well, look, I don't want to offer you advice, but it seems to me that you should get it off as soon as possible. Otherwise, they'll find out what's going on and find some way of stopping it. 50 signatures should be enough. Anyway, it isn't the number of signatures which is important, it's their significance. Each signature has its own significance. Yes, exactly. But as far as publicity abroad is concerned, it's vital that there should be some well-known names. Exactly. Has Pavel signed? Yes. Well, his name does mean something in the world today. No matter what one thinks of him personally. Ferdinand, there's one more question I want to ask you. It's a bit delicate, though. Look, I'm no millionaire, but so far I've been able to manage. Good. Now, I was thinking, I'd like to, Look, I know some of your friends have lost their jobs. And I was thinking, would you be prepared to accept some money from me? That's very good of you.
Some of my friends are in a bit of a spot. But there are problems. It's always difficult to know how to go about it. Those who most need help are often the most reluctant to accept it. Well, you won't be able to perform miracles on what I can afford. But every bit counts, doesn't it? Thank you very much, on behalf of all my friends.
Oh, look, we've got to help each other, haven't we? Oh, incidentally, there's no need to mention that this little contribution comes from me. I don't want to put up any sort of monument to myself. I'm sure you gathered that much by now, haven't you?
Yes. Again, many thanks.
Oh, please. Right, now let's go and have a look at the garden.
Mr. Stanek.
Yes?
We'd like to send it off tomorrow,
Splendid, the sooner the better.
so that today there's still time.
Today you should worry about getting some sleep. Now, don't forget, you have a hangover after last night, and tomorrow's a hard day.
Yes, but
You should get straight home and unplug the phone, or Landowski will ring you up, and heaven knows where you'll end up.
there's only a few more signatures to collect. It won't take long. What I mean is, and I do hope you agree, I mean, don't you think it would be helpful? Not to say sensational. After all, everybody's read The Collapse.
I wrote that 15 years ago.
But it's never been forgotten.
What did you mean by sensational?
Well, sorry, I got the impression that you'd actually like to
To what?
participate.
What do you mean? With the signatures?
Yes?
Me?
Well, I'm sorry, I had the impression.
I'm going to have another cognac. How about you?
No, thanks.
Please yourself. Now that's really funny.
What is?
Can't you see how absurd it is? I ask you over here, hoping that you'll write something on Yavurek's behalf. You produce a finished text. And what's more, 50 signatures. I can't believe my eyes. I'm like a child. And all this time, it never occurred to me to do the obvious thing, the thing I should have done in the first place. Sign it myself. Isn't that absurd? Oh, isn't this a terrifying indictment of the situation they brought us to? Just think of it. Even I have got used to the idea that the signing of petitions is for professionals, specialists in solidarity, dissidents, so that when the rest of us want to do something humane and decent, we automatically turn to you as though you were some sort of moral community service. Oh, it's perverse, isn't it? But of course it is. And they've managed to bring things to such a point that even a fairly intelligent and decent person, which, if you'll pardon my saying so, I think I still am, is more or less prepared to take this situation for granted as though it was perfectly natural. It's appalling, isn't it? The depths we've reached. Makes one throw up, doesn't it? Well, do you think our poor country can ever recover from all this?
Hard to say.
What can one do? What can one do? Well, it's clear, isn't it? Theoretically, at any rate. Everybody should start with himself. Is this country inhabited only by Vaneks? Or can anyone become a fighter for human rights?
Not anybody, no.
The list of signatures.
Mr. Stanek. Forgive me. I've got a funny feeling that I feel very embarrassed. It seems to me that I haven't been quite fair.
In what way?
Doing what I did, catching you unawares.
What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, first I let you talk, and then I asked for your signature after you're already sort of committed.
What, do you mean that if I'd known that you were collecting signatures for Javorek, I would never have mentioned it?
No, that's not what I meant.
Well, what did you mean?
You think I should have organized the whole thing myself, is that it? No, that's not it.
Well, what is it, then?
Well, it seems to me that it would have been different if I'd come to you right away and asked for your signature. That way you would have had a choice.
Well, why didn't you? Or had you simply just already written me off in advance?
I was thinking that a man in your position...
Ah. There you are. Now it's becoming clear what you really think of me, isn't it? You think that because every now and then they allow one of my pieces on television, that I'm no longer capable of a small act of solidarity.
You misunderstand me. I didn't mean that.
Let me tell you something, Ferdinand. You sit down. Now listen. If I've become used to the perverse idea that acts of decency and morality are for dissidents only, then you've become used to it as well. That's why it never crossed your mind that certain things might be more important to me than my position. But supposing even I wanted to be a free man. Even I wanted to rediscover my integrity, shake off the humiliation, the shame. It never entered your head that I might have been waiting for this very moment for years. You simply labelled me with all the hopeless cases. And now that you found out that I'm not exactly indifferent to the fate of other people, you start to apologize to me. Oh, God, man, did you realize how you humiliate me? Supposing all this time I've been waiting for an opportunity to participate. Do something that'll make a man of me again. Give me some peace of mind. Help me to find the sense of honor that I've lost. Rid me of the need to hide from my conscience by tinkering about with the apricots and the magnolias. Supposing even I would prefer the truth. Even I wanted to get out of the world of uncommitted literature and the pseudo-culture of television. Get back to the world of art, which doesn't have to account to anybody.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Just let me think aloud. May I? Please. Now, I think I've already covered the main points concerning the subjective side of the matter. If I'm to sign this document, I shall regain, after all these years, my self-esteem, my lost freedom, my honor, and perhaps even some respect from those who are close to me. And all the problems forced on me by the conflict between my concern for my position on the one hand and my conscience on the other will be a thing of the past. I shall be able to face with some peace of mind Annie, myself, and even that lad Javorek when he comes back. It'll cost me my job, but my job brings me no satisfaction, brings me shame. Still, it does support me and my family a good deal better than if I were to become a night watchman. It's more than likely that my son won't be allowed to go to university. But he'll respect me far more than if he got there at the price of my refusal to sign this document. He happens to worship Javorek, as a matter of fact. Crazy about him. Well, so much for the subjective side. Now, what about the objective side? What happens when, among the signatures of a few well-known dissidents and a handful of Javorek's teenage friends, there suddenly appears, to everybody's surprise, my signature. The signature of a man who hasn't shown his true colors for years. Well, those who have already signed, as well as those who don't sign documents of this kind, but who nevertheless deep down agree with those who do, they're naturally going to welcome my signature, especially as theirs are already beginning to lose their impact. The closed circle is about to be invaded. A new name will appear. A name whose value depends precisely on the fact that it has never been down there before. A value dependent, too, on the high price paid for its appearance. Right. Well, so much for the objective advantages of my signature. Now, what about the disadvantages? What about the authorities? Well, my signature is going to surprise them, it's going to annoy them, and it's going to upset them for precisely the reasons that will delight those people. Because my signature will be breaching the wall that they've been building round you and your friends for so long. Right. Javorek. Now, I very much doubt whether my involvement, my participation, would significantly influence the outcome of his case, and if it did, it might well be prejudicial. The authorities will be anxious to prove that they haven't panicked, that they can take this sort of thing in their stride. Which brings us to what they're going to do to me. Now, certainly my signature is bound to have a significant effect on what happens to me. I'm sure they'll punish me. And far more cruelly than you'd probably expect. Because my punishment will serve as a warning to all those who might want to follow in my footsteps and swell the ranks of the dissidents. Look, they're no longer worried about what you people are getting up to inside the ghetto. They even seem to encourage you now. But what they're really afraid of is any semblance of a crack in the ghetto wall. That really scares them. So they'll want to crush the threat of an epidemic of dissension by punishing me as an example. Now, the last question I have to ask myself is, what sort of reaction can we expect from those who have, for one reason or another, chosen to conform? Because these people are, or should be, our main concern. Of course, as I'm sure you'll agree, our only hope for the future depends on whether or not we will be able to shake them out of their lethargy and oblige them to take an active part in the community. That's what really matters, isn't it? Well, I'm afraid my signature is going to be received with total resentment by this vital section of the community. And why? Because secretly they hate the dissidents. The dissidents have become their conscience. They envy them. Their pride. Their freedom. Two things which their own conformity has denied them. That's why they never miss an opportunity to smear the dissidents. And precisely this opportunity is going to be given them by my signature. They're going to say that you, who have no more to lose, you who have so long been down there at the bottom of the heap, and what's more, managed to make yourselves quite at home down there, are now trying to drag down to your level an unfortunate man. A man who has so far managed to keep himself in the clear. You're dragging him down, irresponsibly, without conscience, just for your own satisfaction. Just to give a false impression that the number of dissidents is on the increase. A provocation, you hope, to the authorities. What do you care about losing him his job? What do you mean to say? That you'll find him a job down there where you are? Oh, no, Ferdinand. I know only too well the way these conformists think. I have to live amongst them, day in and day out. I know precisely what they're going to say. They're going to say that I'm your victim. Shamelessly abused, misguided, led astray by your calculated appeal to my humanity. They're going to say that in your ruthlessness you didn't even shrink from using my personal relationship to Javorek. And you know what else they're going to say? They're going to say that all your humane ideals have been tarnished by your treatment of me. That's the sort of reaction you can expect from these people. And I don't need to tell you that the authorities are bound to support this belief and add fuel to it. And there are others, more intelligent perhaps, who are going to say that the astonishing appearance of my signature among yours is actually counterproductive, because it draws everybody's attention to my signature and away from the main issue, which concerns Yavorek. They're going to say that it puts the whole protest in jeopardy, because one can't help asking oneself, what's the object of the exercise? Is it to help Yavorek? Or is it to parade me as a brand new dissident? As a matter of fact, I'm sure that there'll be some people who say that Yavorek is being sacrificed by you and your friends, that you're using his unfortunate predicament to further your errant ends, which are precious little to do with what's happening to him. Furthermore, it'll be pointed out that by getting my signature, you have managed to dislodge me from the one area of operation, backstage diplomacy. An area where until now I've been able to maneuver. An area in which I could have been of infinitely more help to Yavorek. I do hope you understand me, Ferdinand. I don't want to exaggerate the importance of all these possibilities, nor am I prepared to become a slave to them. But it does seem to be in the interest of our cause that they should be taken into account. After all, this is a political decision, and a good politician must consider all the issues which could influence the outcome of his action. Right? So, the question one must ask oneself is this: which is preferable? The presence of my signature, which would liberate my conscience, but hinder your cause, or the absence of my signature, which would help your cause, but leave me to live with my guilty conscience? In other words, if I'm to act ethically, and I hope that by now you have no doubt that I mean to do just that, which course do I take?
Seems perfectly clear to me.
And to me.
So, that you're going to.
Now, unfortunately...
Unfortunately?
You thought I was?
I'm sorry. Perhaps I didn't understand.
Well, I'm sorry if I...
No, never mind.
But I really believe...
I know.
Are you angry?
No.
You don't agree, then?
I respect your reasoning.
But what do you think?
Well, what should I think?
Oh, it's obvious, isn't it?
Is it?
Yes, you think when I saw all those signatures, I panicked.
No, I don't.
Oh, of course you do.
I assure you.
Why don't you tell me the truth? By pretending to be generous, you're actually far more insulting than if you gave it to me straight. Or do you mean to say that I'm not worth it anyway? But I told you, didn't I? I respect your reasoning. I'm not an idiot, Vanek. No, of course not. I know precisely what's behind that word respect.
What?
Moral superiority.
That's not true.
Only I'm not quite sure if you, of all people, have any right to be so superior.
What do you mean?
You know very well what I mean.
I don't.
Shall I tell you?
Please.
Right. From what I've heard, in prison, you talked more than you should have done. Right!
Yes?
What? Right. Yes. I'll wait here.
You can go downstairs and burn that in the furnace.
What?
He just walked into the canteen to see Annie.
Who did?
Javorek.
So your personal intervention did work, after all? Oh, my God. It's a good thing we didn't send the petition off a few days earlier. I bet they'd have kept him inside.
My dear friend, you mustn't fret. There's always the risk that you can do more harm than good by your activities. If you worry about that, you'll never be able to do anything. Come on. Let me get you those magnolias.